It is 21-all as we get set for the third quarter here at Arrowhead. And Phil, what about the second half? We heard Dick Vermeil say, wait a minute, we got to get an edge in the big play department, but it looks like one of those days where it's going to be going back and forth all day long.
Well, it could be, Jim. I really came into this game, I thought defenses were going to, I thought it was going to be the story, but it has not been. I expect defenses on both sides to settle down and quit giving up so many big plays.
In the first half, as far as the stat department, big plays, well, we consider those to be 20-plus yards. 3 on the Denver side, 4 by Kansas City. And the yards after the catch, 143. The big one by Anderson on the screen for the good portion of that. And this game brought to you in high definition. His kick not very deep, out to the 10, Darren Williams. And he is able to find some freedom, but a flag will likely bring much of this back.
Third in the return, holding number 42 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
As for you fantasy players, the notebook from the first half, Plummer 221, 1-1, and Green 197, 2-1. Anderson 33 yards on the ground plus a touchdown. He also caught one. Larry Johnson 44 yards and a score. And there's the receiving stats with Rod Smith, Lee with one big one, Gonzalez with a touchdown, and Kinnison with a couple of big plays. That penalty cost Denver about 26 yards. And here they snap it, hand it off to Smith. He was trying to unload it down the field, but the Chiefs read it with Hicks and Sammy Knight.
Well, when you get out of position so many times in the first half, you've got to go in halftime and say, all right, guys, let's quit overreacting to what the offense is doing. And that time, Hicks, everybody stays at home, and the receivers down the field, they were well covered.
They're all the way back inside of the 9. It looked like Darren Williams would have him outside of the 40. How things change so quickly. Mike Anderson. And he is driven back by Hicks. And we sent it down. Now, hold on a minute. We got a flag. Before we go to Bonnie, let's check the flag. And Eric Hicks had a chance to visit with Eric on Friday. And he was still talking about that loss to Denver back in September, how much it burned him to this day. You could see that in that last play effort.
Tripping, number 39 of the offense. Penalty is declined. Third down.
Let's go down to Bonnie now.
Jim, Mike Shanahan happy in general with his team's play overall. He said there's a reason why the Chiefs have been one of the best offenses over the last couple of years, and we need to put better pressure on Trent Green. But rest assured, Shanahan knows what the record is. The Chiefs have never lost in December in the Dick Vermeil era at Arrowhead in December.
All right, Bonnie actually even goes back before Dick Vermeil. They have won their last 16 December home games. It's an amazing accomplishment. That goes back 10 years. Plummer on 3rd and 20 is picked off at the 20-yard line by Kavika Mitchell.
You must see in front of receivers. Early in the game, we showed you Trent Green looking left before he threw the football in the middle of the field. Jake Plummer almost double pumps, and when you make that second move and you're throwing the football to the middle, somebody from the left side is going to see you doing it, and they're going to drift towards where you're throwing it, and that's what causes the interception. Boy, Kavika Mitchell, and a nice catch as he catches it and gets hit at the same time. And yes, those are some big arms.
It's the first interception of the season for the middle linebacker of the Chiefs. Play action. Green goes short, and Johnson tripped up. Ball was loose on the back end. Did they rule him down? They're ruling him down. Darren Williams had scooped it up after making the hit.
Just real quick, remember, if they rule him down, that's it. That's it. You cannot challenge it.
Gains 3 yards, so you're right, not reviewable. And you wouldn't have thought it would have been anything that would have been overturned anyway.
Yes, contact took Larry Johnson to the ground, and when the football hit it, it comes loose, down on contact.
Well, they hit Gonzalez in the second quarter from just outside this length. Second down, and the low pass right where it had to be to a diving Eddie Kinnison for a first down.
You know, think about it, Jim. We talked about it all day Friday when we were here watching the Chiefs practice and meeting with the players and coaches, and they know their schedule is so demanding that they didn't want to say it was a must-win, but they said everything else that they knew.
Well,
they had to get it done at home.
So tough in the AFC. When you look at the wild card possibilities, and they have to go to Dallas and to the New York Giants the next 2. First and goal to go. And it's Larry Johnson trying the middle, but that doesn't work, but for only 2 yards. I tell you, the Chiefs' schedule, this is as bloody as it gets. At Dallas, at the Giants, and look, the worst record the Chiefs have in remaining games, the Cowboys, who really are backed into a must-win situation next week when they host Kansas City. Look at the 9-3 Cincy. Giants in San Diego with big records.
Look how, when we came here to start the very first game of the year, we talked about the Chiefs' schedule and went, wow. And even Dick Vermeil said it, but they suffered through some tough moments. They find themselves 7-4 and still with a chance to go to the playoffs.
They fake to Johnson on second and goal. Green with a flag hits Kinnison, but hold on, this may come back. And a signal against Kansas City. It's a holding call against the Chiefs.
Well, I guess Bill Levy's not going to tell us who did it, but a good decision by Trent Green. He runs out to his right. Nothing is there. He waited and waited and found the receiver open for the touchdown. But holding penalty is why he had so much time to wait for a receiver to come uncovered.
That's the second Kansas City touchdown called back by penalty. Remember, they had the one to Sammy Parker. They still scored, though, after that on the pass to Gonzalez. What will they do this time? That was against Dunn, now we hear. Green fires middle of the field, and Lynch slams to the ground Sammy Parker. Third and goal coming up.
Well, let's go back and look at the holding penalty, which brought the Chiefs touchdown. Jason Dunn against Trevor Price, number 89. Trevor Price, so they both got a hold of each other. But it happens right in front of Bill Levy. Easy call for him to make.
Tony Gonzalez, since the second half of the game at San Diego, back on the last Sunday of October, has been back up to his old style of being such a huge part of things. He's in the backfield now on third and goal and a whistle.
Away game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
And they might have had exactly what they wanted that time, Jim. The Denver Broncos are bringing in Sam Brandon, who's a big defensive back, a safety, and they're putting him on Tony Gonzalez. And Tony Gonzalez, coming out of the backfield, was going to have one-on-one all over the field. That's tough for anybody, regardless of what talent level you're at, to cover him in those situations.
Dante Hall comes in after the penalty. Gonzalez goes back to lining up on the left side. On a wing to the left. Third and goal. Pass on one hop incomplete.
Pass is incomplete.
Intended for Hall. He had to get rid of this rather quickly.
That's right. Trevor Price once again coming in and makes Trent Green throw the football short. Dante Hall, could have had a chance. John Lynch did a good job, stayed back, read it, could have broken the pass up if it was high enough.
It'll bring out Lawrence Tynes from 34 yards. He made 4 field goals in the second quarter last week against New England, tying an NFL record for most field goals in a quarter. 34. Tynes has it to give Kansas City the lead. He has now made a field goal in 15 straight games. Ramil looking for the edge in the big play department. A touchdown called back. They settle for 3. 24-21 Chiefs as the third quarter begins with a turnover and a field goal by Tynes.
It started just the way the first half ended. A turnover, a touchdown, call it back. The game has not slowed down.
And you don't expect that it will. Tynes again. This one only to the 18 and fumbled by Williams, and he falls on it at the 26. Well, that Kansas City defense put on a big hit and a big pick by Kavika Mitchell to set up the 3.
And by General Motors.
All right, the Broncos from the 27 with Tatum Bell in the backfield. He takes the little screen pass and only able to get back to the line of scrimmage, or actually give him a yard maybe. Hicks and Allen, the 2 ends.
Well, you bring Tatum Bell in here in the second half because you kind of get the feel of the way the game is going. So Mike Shanahan's this way. He's fresh. He should be able to. The defense, hopefully they've slowed down a little, and you hope that Tatum Bell can give you that big explosive play, which he is capable of getting.
Missed the Cowboy game with a bruised sternum. Averaging 6 yards a carry, best in the league. Here's his first rush attempt of the day, and he's got some running room. Out to the 42 and a first down. We've got an update as well. Back to Greg in New York.
Jim and Phil, good stout test for the Patriots tonight. The Jets putting up a fight, but Corey Dillon with a 1-yard touchdown run has increased New England's lead. It's 13-3, 4 minutes to play in the third.
Thank you, Greg. Corey Dillon, good to see him back in. It's been really an injury-plagued year for Dillon. As you see, the Patriots 6-5 leading the division. Miami moving into second with its win over Buffalo. What it could have been for the Dolphins a few weeks back when they hosted, the Patriots could have beaten them. Here's Tatum Bell. And that's 2 bursts in a row for Tatum Bell. Both over 10-yard carries. A 13-yard run, and this one goes for 15.
Well, he looks fast when you watch Tatum Bell run, but look at the blitz. Look at everybody on this side. Denver's going the other way, so when he cuts it back, up the field, cuts it back, there's a big opening, and Eric Warfield does a good job slowing him down. Well, I tell you, that's true. 3 running backs, and you bring in the fastest one here in the second half. He looks very explosive.
Fresh legs. And Dane this time gets the handle. And he looks pretty fresh also. Wow. 3 straight carries that go for about, well, at least 10 yards.
I know running backs all have success when they run behind the Denver offensive line and with this system. Like quarterbacks, if you got a big arm, you want to throw it down the field. And what I'm getting to is Ron Dane fits this Denver system very well. He just looks like a completely different runner as he takes the football, runs with power, and showing really light feet, able to go around people when he needs to.
They're going to measure for the first off the Dane run. And there you go, first down. They had 15 yards rushing in the opening quarter, the Broncos, 94 yards rushing after that. They weren't all that impressed, to say the least, about that mark that Kansas City can boast of, not allowing a single 100-yard rusher in 18 straight.
Yeah, that's right. They had, it's not what they say, it's the facial expressions and we'll see. Hey, yeah, okay. Well, you know, they're Kansas City, you know. And I don't know quite what they meant by that. It meant we run it on them all the time, and we're going to do it again tomorrow too.
Still Dane in the backfield. You set it downs. Dane in traffic and losing yardage this time. Ryan Sims was the first to get to him. He's back. Let's go back down to Bonnie.
Denver's definitely reaped the benefits of having 3 solid running backs, but they'll be the first guys to tell you sometimes it gets a little bit confusing. In fact, Mike Anderson was saying in the Oakland game a couple weeks ago, he was coming off the field thinking he was supposed to. The coaches were telling him to run back on the field. He passed Tate and Bell on the field on the way, and they looked at each other, they said, what's going on? But the benefit is whenever somebody comes off the field, they tip the other guys off as to what the defense is doing.
Well, it's Tate and Bell's turn in the backfield. He returns. Play action, Plummer on his heels, hits Rod Smith, tiptoeing around near the 20 and out of bounds at the 18. Ran away from Kendrell Bell.
That was a good description. Jake Plummer under pressure, and I always like it when they say, well, he threw from his back foot. Look, if you can't throw from your back foot in this league, then you're going to miss a lot of opportunities to complete passes down the field. Excellent job by Jake Plummer. And Rod Smith still got a little giddy up left, turns the corner and gets quite a few yards.
Another red zone opportunity for the Broncos. Plummer fires, hits his man. Todd DeVoe with the diving catch.
How good was that? Jake Plummer once again, defender in his face. It's Kendrell Bell, the outside linebacker, and he falls backwards to throw it. And what you do as a quarterback, when you kind of fall backwards and get on your back foot, it gives you a lot of power, and that's how he was able to still get it outside.
In the red zone today, 2 touchdowns, and Plummer was picked on the 3rd occasion. Mike Anderson is the running back. Anderson gets the first down. Goal to go from the 7. And they just keep shuttling in the backs. Ron Dane this time comes in from the sideline.
Another good drive of the Denver Broncos. Just a wide variety of plays, bootlegs, screens, outside running, power running inside. Hard to guess what they're going to do next.
We're going to go to Ron Dane. He's tripped up near the 5, maybe the 4. You know, a year ago, they went through the running backs with injuries at Denver. Had Griffith go out. They had all kinds of setbacks during the season. They ended up with Reuben Drones, who was their fullback, stepping up and playing really well, getting a 1,000-yard season. But Shanahan talking about how people say, you got a real problem on your hands with this 3-headed monster. He said, no, I don't. The problems were last year.
Yeah, that's right. Well, he did.
This isn't a problem. This is a luxury.
Yeah, it's a luxury. He loves it. And they got to compete against each other. And look where they run the football. It's not much to the right, but up the middle to the left. Been successful.
2nd down and goal. Dane cuts back to the middle and sandwiched near the 4. 3rd and goal coming up. Kavika Mitchell and Eric Hicks.
Eric Hicks, what a day by him. He has been in on a lot of plays. Tackles, pressuring the quarterback.
Tell you, Plummer in this spot is one of the more dangerous quarterbacks in the whole league. Running in, he's great on the bootlegs. And all these backs as an option. Kyle Johnson's often the target, the fullback. With Mike Anderson, the tailback, 3rd and goal. It's Anderson. And again, they stuff the middle with Eric Hicks hitting him first. They'll trot out Elam to try to match the Tynes field goal.
Now you see the runoff tackle, and I know you're thinking, well, come on, you can do more than that. Well, that's why you do it, because who thought they were just going to run off tackle? You're trying to catch the defense by surprise. They were not fooled. That's why they tackled it for a very little gain.
Jason Elam, his 200th NFL game. He has scored in every game in his career. And he adds 3 more to his distinguished career. Our 4th tie of the day at 24. NFL.com poll of the day. Which team made the best pick at the top of the draft? Alex Smith, Ronnie Brown, Braylon Edwards, Cedric Benson, Cadillac Williams. We do not want to give you a little time for the perspective, you know, like 3 or 4 years down the line to really know the right answer to that. We only want to know that after 12, 13 weeks.
Yeah, that's right. Let's get to it right now.
Right now, want to know. Cast your vote at NFL.com.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Sauerbrunn's boot goes to Dante Hall. Remember, he fumbled it last time right before the half. This time, though, he races out at the 44, setting up the Chiefs.
By Saturn.
We're back on CBS, home of TV's #1 comedy, TV's #1 reality show, TV's #1 news magazine, the #1 network for the NFL and the PGA Tour, and the #1 show on television, CBS, America's most watched network. Sam A. Parker, he dropped it out of bounds, but first he did indeed make the grab and picked up good yardage down to the Denver 42, gain of 14.
Well, Jim, we talked about it during the commercial. It's been an exciting game, but both teams, nobody resting on either side of the ball, doing everything on offense and on defense. The Broncos and the Chiefs blitzing, trying to give a lot of different looks. They just cannot find a combination to slow the other offense down.
First down, and it's Larry Johnson. Picked up 2.
Larry Johnson the carry.
At 151 and 2 touchdowns last December here against Denver, but then again at Mile High earlier this year, 8 carries, 13 yards. So feast and famine from Larry Johnson. Tomorrow, TV's best lineup of comedies is on CBS. King of Queens, How I Met Your Mother, 2.5 Men, Out of Practice, Monday's #1 show, CSI Miami, and of course the Late Show with Dave here on the #1 network in America. Second down and 8. And remember, they had 3 offside calls in the first half against Denver.
Encroachment, number 96 defense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
4th time today.
Well, it was good timing on the snap count by Trent Green because the Broncos were coming with an all-out blitz. Everybody at the line of scrimmage. John Lynch was the only defender back, and he's 2 yards from the center. So that tells you what good timing for Trent Green. He had to know he was going to get him to jump off sides.
Instead of a 2nd and 8, now down you like to play with. 2nd down and 3. Johnson lined up behind Richardson. It is LJ trying to get by the wave. Trying to fight for that first down line.
Well, Larry Johnson's finding out today, too. When we talked to him on Friday, he talked about the linebackers for the Denver Broncos. Maybe they're a little small by NFL standards, but they are fast. And he goes, let's see if they want to keep coming downhill. In other words, running right at him as he runs at them and hitting each other. So Larry Johnson, a running back that does not shy away from contact.
We showed everybody in that first half how Larry Johnson was the player of the month of November in the AFC on the offensive side. And 4 straight 100-yard performances. He picks up the first on this situation. If he somehow gets 100 today, and he's halfway there, he's got 50 to this point, that would tie the Kansas City Priest-Holmes record of 5 straight 100-yard performances. Mr. November.
Yeah,
but he said, you know, that's not something that would be special to me. What would be special is I did this against Denver, the best rush defense team in the league. Good toss and picked. Look out, Darrell Williams. Trent Green has to make a play, and he does. He fights off the block and is able to drag down Darrell Williams after the poor throw.
And this interception is caused by the fact that Trent Green tries to get rid of the football so quick, he doesn't get a good grip, and it's a little bit off target. Watch Trent Green on this interception. It's really just a one step back and get rid of the football real quick. Comes out of his hand a little funny, and Darren Williams, defensive backs of late, they are making some catches. That was an excellent catch by him.
3rd takeaway of the day for Denver. Tatum Bell 3 carries, all of them have gone for plus 10 yards. This one for 13.
And I think every one of them's going left.
Running behind Matt Lepsis, the
Tell you
left
what,
tackle.
And you can see when Tatum Bell gets into the game, it just changes. He is quick, he's elusive or whatever, and you know if he gets to that second level, look out. You better start trying to protect touchdowns instead of coming up and being aggressive and making a tackle.
Kyle Johnson also created a hole. First down at the 30. And Bell, this time contained for 2.
And how about, we talked to Tatum Bell last night, Jim, don't you love it? I said, is Mike Shannon giving you one of those speeches this week? He goes, well, not yet, but he'll probably give it to me tomorrow just before the game. It's always the same. Tatum, you know, we expect more from you, and you've got to do this and that. It's kind of funny, their relationship, but Tatum Bell respects it.
We've come to the end of the third quarter. They matched field goals in the third. Back after this word from your local station on America's #1 network. "15 minutes to go in regulation in this hugely important game, particularly for the Kansas City Chiefs. With Denver off a turnover inside the 30. Second down and 8. Over to Kyle Johnson, and pile driven back by Jared Allen.
Haven't heard that name a lot today. A blitz from the right side. Jared Allen. Jared Allen actually was dropping back in coverage. That's why he was there waiting on the screen.
Dropped him back for a 3-yard loss. He stirs it up a little bit. The place is already rocking. Tatum Bell wide to the right as a receiver. Plummer flings it across the middle. Driven back short of the first. Alexander hit by Kavika Mitchell. And Kavika will force, because of that hit, Jason Elam to come back out onto the field.
Yeah, you know, it was almost like a defense. Denver went into 5 wide receiver look, and immediately the Chiefs just dropped back, and they were just protecting not to give up a first down, but they gave up about 8 yards, and just makes it a much easier field goal attempt for Jason Elam with the bad calf, which you talked about, Jim.
A 40-yard try for Elam, who in his career has had 2 game-winning kicks here at Arrowhead. Jason Elam from 40 splits it. Good. And Denver takes the lead at 27-24. It's been a great one from the start. 27-24 Denver. 90 seconds into the final quarter. And Elam with 2 second-half field goals. Beware, though, as always, of Dante Hall. His last run back was all the way to near midfield. This one fielding at 13. Lost the footing and down at the 30. Next Sunday, we've got another doubleheader day here on CBS, and early, the Colts. What a test this could be down at Jacksonville. Jags played them tight early in the year. That'll lead off the first window. And late, most of you will see Kansas City and the Cowboys. With Greg, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer getting it all started on the NFL Today, 12 noon Eastern time. Kansas City returns to its roots. Back to Dallas, where they were formed as the Dallas Texans back in 1960. Taking on the Cowboys next week in our doubleheader game. First and 10 from the 30. Larry Johnson, first time in open space this half. And he keeps on driving out for about 8 yards. Broke away from Nick Ferguson.
He was tackled by Allison. Goal also stopped.
Hey, when you watch Larry Johnson run, even though it's in the fourth quarter, he still shows that speed and still shows that he is a premier, or has a chance to become one of the premier running backs in the league, because he still has that power and everything to to make the tough yards and give you a chance to make a big play.
2nd down and 2. And again, it's Johnson. And that looks like a 1st down.
That's a Kansas City Chiefs.
When you talk about most yards and gain from scrimmage per touch, this not only includes rushes but receptions as well. Westbrook, Barber, then Larry Johnson. Warwick, Dunn, Ladanian, your top 5. And most of his rushing yards in the 1st quarter. He picked up the 1st on that last attempt. Green, left side, it's Kinnison. He's over 100 now and pushed out of bounds. Pushed out in Denver territory by Ian Gold.
Kansas City Chiefs, their favorite play action. They have Trent Green fake it. He goes away from where he wants to throw it, goes to his right, and look at the space it creates to the backside. And look at Trent Green again. You heard Mike Shanahan talk about it, that you cannot continuously give him time. Otherwise, when in rhythm, he puts it on the money down the field.
Kinnison for the 4th straight time against the Broncos over 100. Again, they try to use the rope side. Johnson breaks free inside the 20 and down to the 12. Running behind Willie Roaf. It was stacked up. It was cut off. He made a little dart to the right and springs for 30.
I think we just talked about it. He just gives you every dimension that you want as a running back. Good vision, power, and then the ability to take nothing and make a 30-yard gain out of it. Just deceptively quick and fast for a very big running back in the NFL.
He sits out this down. D. Brown is the running back. And D. Brown gets the handle. Running to the short side, and it's a gain of 2.
D. Brown, the ball carrier. He was tackled by Trevor Price. Gain of 3
Let's see if they bring Larry Johnson right back out. They do. Johnson's coming back after a 1-play breather.
Well, you bring him back in for so many reasons. His talent, he can run the ball, but when you have a Larry Johnson in your backfield, Jim, you can be deceptive. You can fake a run and open up big avenues for the pass.
Inside the 20 today, a touch and a field goal. Touchdown for the lead here. Green looks for a second option, and Kinnison is pounded by John Lynch. And a flag. And a flag for the hit against Lynch.
If he calls this, it's because John Lynch went to the head of the receiver. And Eddie Kinnison, Trent Green is telling him to go out.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, helmet-to-helmet contact. Number 47 defense. Automatic 1st down, spot of the foul.
You cannot hit what they call a defenseless player, and mainly receivers.
You know, last year against the Chiefs, Lynch on a hit of Dante Hall was fined $7,500.
And John Lynch was covering the running back out of the backfield. He saw Trent Green look inside, and they called the penalty because he led with his helmet.
Gives the Chiefs a new set of downs from just inside the 5. Toss it, Larry Johnson trying to be patient with it, and it pays off with the touchdown. Larry Johnson. You know, Dick Vermeil went on and on about how Priest Holmes was the best layer runner he had ever seen it, layering his runs, waiting for it to open. And another flag, it looks like, on Lynch.
Yeah, John Lynch said something to the official, and they threw an unsportsmanlike conduct flag on him.
How did you like the patience by Johnson on that run?
It was special. That's really what it was. It was special by Larry Johnson.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 47 defense. 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
After the touchdown, John Lynch is going to let him know what he thought about the personal foul penalty. Oh, be careful. I hope he didn't touch him, but I'm sure the words is what caused it. And that is, boy, that's a good shot. That is helmet to helmet. Got to protect the players.
Kick is good. Larry Johnson has given Kansas City the lead. From 5 yards out. Following the wave of blockers for the end zone and the lead.
2006 DTS Cadillac Breakthrough.
Larry Johnson with his second touchdown of the game has given Kansas City the advantage, and plus the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty means Kansas City kicks from the 45. Still, it will not be good enough for a touchback. It will be run out by Darren Williams, and he's past the 20 and out to the 24. Well, they called John Lynch on the helmet to helmet. And the very next play, Larry Johnson. We're back in Kansas City where we've had 4 ties, 3 lead changes, and now it's Denver's turn with Tatum Bell. Gain of 2. Junior C of E with the hit.
Well, when you look into this touchdown by Larry Johnson, watch Tony Gonzalez, number 88, his block on Ian Gold. He grabs hold of the jersey, but it's in the framework of his body. That's why it's not called. And then he picks off Nick Ferguson. When you run outside the NFL, I say it all the time, it's because you have a good blocking tight end. Tony Gonzalez catches it, and he showed us all once again that he can block it too.
2nd down and 8. Blitzing the quarterback. Plummer flings it. Rod Smith, the target, and Warfield had excellent coverage. Jared Allen came storming after Plummer.
That was really a good throw by Jake Plummer. Singled up on the outside, and when you throw it this far and high in the air, there could have been a penalty on Eric Warfield just because he stuck his arm out. Jake Plummer, once again, under pressure, throws off that back foot and gave the receiver a chance down the field.
Dwayne Washington, and as an extra receiver, as you see Warfield come out. Washington runs onto the field at the last moment. It's 3rd down and 8. And a pass threaded for Alexander. Kansas City says he didn't catch it, and it is ruled incomplete. Kavika Mitchell and Sammy Knight were in the area for the Chiefs defending.
Well, you talked about it, just which defense is finally going to make some plays, and Kansas City gets a 3 and out.
That ball tipped by Mitchell, got a fingernail on it, enough to throw it off course and fall incomplete. Sauerbrunn backs up, ball to the 18. Flag already down, and he dives down at the 20. Mike Leach, the long snapper, the first to get down there after a 57-yard beauty by Sauerbrunn. He uncorks the big kicks, whether it's at altitude, at home, or on the road.
Got to be careful about kicking it too far against Kansas City. You just give more space to Dante Hall.
Remember that 93-yarder he had against Denver 2 years ago here, weaving past about 8 different Broncos.
There were 2 fouls against the receiving team during the return. Holding number 87, holding number 20. Half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
So that'll back up the Chiefs in perilous position. Tuesday on America's #1 network. Only 4 teams remain in the Amazing Race with 2 episodes to go before the finish line, and the competition is heating up on the 3-time Emmy-winning Amazing Race Tuesday on CBS. From the 10, that's Larry Johnson again, this time for 2 yards. He's moving in on 100. It'll be interesting to see John Lynch in this series coming up after what happened last time on the field.
Well, the personal foul, then the touchdown run, and then the argument with the referee, or argument with one of the officials.
Unsportsmanlike penalty call. Johnson at 97 yards and 1 to go maybe for 100. Yep, that's what the official stats say. You know, I talked about on that touchdown run how that was something that Priest Holmes would admire, the way that Larry Johnson waited for everything to kind of unfold.
Yeah, and that's right, and that's Dick Vermeil calls it layering, and that's what Priest Holmes did so well. To show patience, let the guys, let defenders overreact, let the blocks happen. So hard for a young running back to wait for it, because he just wants to, hey, make it happen by being too quick. Larry Johnson with experience is slowing down.
On 3rd and 5, they dump it off to Johnson, and that move gets the first down. Out to the 21.
This is what I call a coach's play. You're backed up, you want a first down really bad, and you call a play where the quarterback just come back, don't think, dump it off, and the system and the play we have created here is going to get it done for you. And what it was basically a screen pass or a sweep to the right, blocked really well, again, by Tony Gonzalez and the wide receiver Eddie Kinnison, and they get a big first down.
Richardson in the backfield. Johnson sits out 1. 1st and 10, and Green going to take off. And he slides at the 29, a nice pickup of 8. Here is the lineup tonight on CBS. John Voight stars in the powerful true story of Pope John Paul II. And Howard Stern's biggest fans may be surprised when they hear what he says to Ed Bradley. That's coming up after football, plus a new edition of Cold Case. Big night tonight here on the #1 network in America.
Howard Stern and Ed Bradley, that's an interesting match.
An interesting pair. Anxious to hear what it is that he says. It'll surprise us tonight on 60 Minutes. Richardson cuts outside, shakes off the rookie Williams. A flag is down. He had easily the first.
Is that holding by a wide receiver?
Got to be over there. They sealed off that whole side, it looked like.
Holding, number 81 offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat, 2nd down.
That is big stuff because we're down to 6 minutes. Denver needs a touchdown. Number 81, Chris Horn, going inside. Oh my gosh. He doesn't even need to do anything. John Lynch is fooled. He's not even going to get into the play, but what I talked about, Tony Gonzalez kept his arms in the framework of his body. Chris Horn does the old roundabout with the left arm. Easy to see and a good call.
Tell you, we're moving inside of 6 minutes, and if Kansas City's able to pick up another couple of first downs, this is starting to get dangerous for Denver. Larry Johnson out 2 plays, is now back in. He has his 100 yards and takes a couple of vicious hits before bouncing out. DJ Williams delivered one of the pops and Darren Williams the other. And there is Larry Johnson, over 100 for the 5th straight game. There's the hit.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. You're on the field, protect yourself.
He ties the Priest Holmes club record, 5 straight 100-yard performances. For those expecting to see 60 Minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS. Broncos and Chiefs, Jim Nantz, Phil Simms, Bonnie Bernstein. And it's a good one here at 31-27, Kansas City with the lead in. Trying to run down the clock with 5:25 to play. 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast. Arrowhead has been abuzz today. I'd like to welcome some of you just joining us now in this shootout in Kansas City with the Chiefs in front inside of 5 minutes to play. 31-27 Kansas City. And running back Larry Johnson over 100 plus 2 touchdowns on the game. And another big run. And again, is this layering or larrying?
Yeah, either way, it's good stuff. That's all I know, Jim. And again, Kansas City, we said it early, this team is about the offensive line. Will Shields gets Trevor Price out of the way, and look at the blocking. Jason Dunn and Tony Gonzalez. This is Gonzalez on the outside against Sam Brandon. Jason Dunn had Ian Gold. Will Shields got Trevor Price.
Johnson getting a breather. He's got 65 yards rushing in this quarter alone. So D. Brown in.
Big stop. They pick up a first down there. They're going to get down inside of 2 minutes and make Denver use their timeouts up. Instead, now they punt, and Denver has everything they want. 3 timeouts and plenty of time.
So Colquitt comes in. Interesting, though, Larry Johnson had to come out. He's just winded after, I guess, this exciting fourth quarter of action on his part.
Yeah,
you needed him in there on that 3rd and short.
You definitely did.
Timeout called by the Broncos.
And it's been a rough game for Larry Johnson. And I would just say this, running backs know when they can't give it their all. And we've talked to coaches over the last few weeks. This running back position, it is probably physically the roughest spot or the toughest spot to play in the National Football League.
And especially if you're anything under 100%. I remember Belichick telling us that earlier in the season. It's the one position that can expose you if you do not have everything working. You're not 100%. So Denver's going to get it back. A wide snap, but Colquitt able to step over, field it, angles the boot. Darren Williams steps out after the grab. Broncos will come out to the 25. Well, the recap, 66-yard screen that breaks for a touchdown to Anderson. 41 yards, Hall left unattended. Larry Johnson, 3 straight carries, got it in on 3rd and goal from the 1. Anderson matched him with a 1-yard touchdown run. Gonzalez with a 25-yard haul for a score. Van Pelt coming in, taking the snap on the sneak and scoring. Field goal by Tynes for the lead. Matched by Elam, who then kicked another for the lead, only to see Larry Johnson put Kansas City on top. Open is Smith. And Denver with a good play to begin the series for a first down. A gain of 13.
Well, so many things are coming true in this game. What did we say from the beginning? Mike Shanahan said, I'm going to open up the offense. We're going to throw it more and get this defense loose so we can run it when we need to. And they've done just about anything they have wanted all day long on the offensive side.
We've seen a lot of Tatum Bell in this half, but Mike Anderson, who started as back end, Plummer fires it, pulled down by Lallee. And the Chiefs bring him down after a gain of 7. Now, the Chiefs secondary operating without starter Eric Warfield, out with a head injury that was suffered on the deep ball earlier in this quarter that fell incomplete, the excellent coverage. So Dwayne Washington is one of those in there for him. There you see Patrick Surtain earlier with a pick in this game. There's Washington. 2nd down and 3. Great protection. Plummer's pass bouncing into the arms of Jared Allen, incomplete.
That was that same defense where we saw Jared Allen make that good tackle on the screen pass. They blitz from the right. The left side is Jared Allen, another defensive lineman. They dropped out. Jake Plummer, smart, just threw the football away.
Well, the Kansas City defense working this crowd. Plummer told us this is the toughest place he's ever played. It's like they have cue cards when to be loud. They pick up the blitz. Over to Johnson. He's pushed back short of the first. Mitchell with another hit. He's had a number of plays in this game.
Now what do you do?
What do you think?
Do you punt it? I think Mike Shanahan's going to go for it.
Got 2 timeouts.
And I would not use a timeout. Don't use it up. You get the 2-minute warning plus 2 timeouts.
They ask Anderson to get the yard. He's pushed back, but did he get it first with the progress?
Oh, he got a great spot. The Chiefs think they have stopped it, and Dick Vermeil, it's outside of 2 minutes. The play happened. This might be throw that red flag, and let's see it again on replay.
He's asking upstairs, what do you think, guys?
Of course, we're on the opposite side of the run. Mike Shanahan's nervous. He knows it's close. Our line's not official. Well, just by going by the yellow line on the field, he looked like he was a good half-yard short.
Stretch it out, and by...
this is going to be close.
Hold on, step back, sir. No, they say they got it. The Chiefs are saying, look, there's a chain link we can see. Sammy Knight making an appeal. And that'll run it down to the 2-minute warning. Here's another look. Oh, I didn't see it on that one. 2-minute warning at Kansas City. The red challenge flag has been issued, and it is being examined. And here's what they're looking at on 4th and a yard. They're challenging the spot of the football. Mike Anderson running into a pile of Chiefs. Now watch the linesman at the top of the screen
he's coming. He's coming there, and the runner never gets to the yellow line.
He was a foot on the other side of that imaginary line for their purposes. Here's another good look at it. Dalton and others just swarm him under.
When you watch this, he is short of the 48-yard line. And the down marker is the official one was on the far side as we looked at it.
After reviewing the play, the runner did not reach the 48-yard line. Therefore, he was short. First down, Kansas City.
Arrowhead's going crazy.
Now, saying all that, I wasn't even sure that we reverse it, because when you're talking about 6 inches or situations like that, it's hard to reverse calls, but the yard lines were definitive. You can absolutely tell the runner did not cross the 48-yard line.
And again, that challenge was issued by Dick Vermeil because it was at the 2-minute mark. It goes upstairs. It has to be activated by inside of 2 minutes. The Chiefs issued the challenge, and they win the reversal. The second time today they won a reversal after not winning one this season.
They were 0 for the season. Dick Vermeil 2 for 2 today.
Mike Shanahan's wanting to make an appeal. How could you do this? Bill Levy will explain.
I know what he's saying. 2-on-1.
When the runner was stopped short, the clock was at 2:01.
Great call.
We will put the clock back to 2:01. It'll still be Kansas City's ball.
Very smart.
First down.
Just saved a timeout.
He saved another play in the game. Very heads up by Mike Shanahan. Because now they run one, and he gets the 2-minute warning.
And then behind it after that, the Broncos still have 2 timeouts. And Johnson.
Oh, that
doesn't matter.
Yes, that's what a big mistake.
1:56. It was going to stop anyway. Pretty heads up, though, just like, you know, getting an extra timeout. I mean, it's the right thing, but it had gone unnoticed. So 2nd and 8 coming up for the Chiefs. And again tonight on CBS. Got 60 Minutes coming up with Howard Stern visiting with Ed Bradley. Cold case and John Voight, Pope John Paul II, CBS original movie event here on America's #1 network. Chiefs so desperately needing this game, trying to stay in the playoff hunt. And the AFC just getting so wild, with Pittsburgh today losing, dropping back to 7-5. Jacksonville eking out a win, 9-3. Looks like the Jags are very primed for a wild card berth, one of the two. We've got out here in the West, Denver coming in on top, but San Diego and Kansas City. So the Chiefs, with so many people in the mix, could not afford to give one up at home.
Yeah, and what do you do if you're the Chiefs? You know Denver has 2 timeouts. Do you try to win the game? When do you throw the football? If you're going to, now is the best time to catch them off guard.
Gonna run it. Larry Johnson, and he's got a first and a whole lot more. Larry Johnson, what a quarter this has been, and Sims starts to celebrate.
And he stayed in bounds.
Broke away from John Lynch.
Larry Johnson just shows no signs anywhere in this game of slowing down, getting tired, or losing power. Breaking tackles. Boy, how heads up is that? Going out of bounds, or before going out of bounds, hitting the ground. And Ryan Sims back, since been out since the first game of the year. Pretty excited about the possibilities of winning.
Possibilities that the Chiefs have with Sims back into the mix on that defense. He's a big one. So timeout called by the Broncos. They have 1 remaining. And Larry Johnson with 83 yards rushing in the quarter. Over 130 on the game.
Well, this Chiefs offense, and we laughed about it coming in here this week. Can an offense be so reliant on the fact that their tackle, Willie Roaf, when he's in, they play so much better in all phases? Well, when you're talking about your left tackle, maybe so.
Johnson, one more time. This time for no gain. And there's the last timeout for the Broncos, with 1:42 to go. You know, we're talking about the AFC, and obviously you got 4 weeks to go. Indianapolis clinched the playoff berth today. That's not exactly something that's unexpected. And that perfect season will continue next week. They'll attempt to keep it going down at Jacksonville. But lining it up at this very moment with Denver as the 2, if they fall here, they would, at the moment, drop back with Cincinnati, although they have a better conference record than the Bengals, because one of their losses for Denver was against a NFC team in the Giants. New England is winning in the 4th over the Jets 16-3 with 2 minutes to go, and they lead the East and very likely will be the 4, which means they play on wild card weekend but host. And then you get into the wild card situation. Jacksonville, San Diego is right now a little notch ahead of Kansas City because they beat them head-to-head in the one matchup. They have another one coming. And Pittsburgh drops back now with that 7-5. So wild things to come. No timeouts for the Broncos, and Larry Johnson gains 7.
And you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, we talked about it earlier. Look at the winning percentage of the teams that they have to play in their last 4 games of the season. And they go to Dallas, who's going to be desperate, to New York, who's fighting to keep their spots. Oh my gosh, and they finish up with the Bengals here at home. But
with San Diego in there too.
San Diego too in between. But when the Chiefs are home, just like today, you can see they're tough.
Those next 2 games, really all of them, will be very special, but on the road. And they did not get the snap off in time before the play clock expired.
Delay game. Offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Just trying to do the math on it here with Denver out of timeouts. So make it 3rd and 9 coming up. Once they make the tackle, reset it, What do you think? Is there any chance at all for Denver to get the ball back? I think it can be.
Just a few seconds, time for one play.
It's final now at Foxborough. We welcome the audience who saw the Patriots beat up the Jets 16-3. Larry Johnson on a 3rd and 9 run gains only a yard. So there's a chance here that the snap would have to come with about 8 seconds to go in the game.
Well, there's a couple ways to do it. He's going to take it down to 1 second. You can call a timeout. Then you can have Trent Green drop back, throw a long one in the air. Hope you can get it down to where the Denver Broncos only have time for one play. You don't want to punt the football. Too many things can go wrong.
Timeout called with 8 seconds remaining. Well, tonight on CBS, that big movie event coming up with Pope John Paul II. But directly ahead, Howard Stern and Ed Bradley with a little chat that we're told will surprise you.
Yeah, I'm sure, because Ed Bradley's going to ask Howard Stern a question, and here's going to be his answer. Beep, 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 beep. And Ed?
That's going to surprise you? What's so surprising about that?
Oh, boy. What a game today, though. It was really...
But what a night. You start out with Howard Stern, and it ends with the Pope.
That encompasses a lot.
Rush defense, #1 in the league coming in. Only 79 a game yielded. But today, 171. And Larry Johnson topped that average in the 4th quarter alone.
Well, we had a couple questions answered. When the Chiefs' offensive line is healthy, they are dynamic on offense, and against one of the NFL's best, the Denver Broncos. They showed it with the run and the pass today.
Taking his time. Got to bring him down.
Protect yourself.
Now they stop the clock with 3 seconds and time for one Hail Mary.
You know, it's the Kansas City Chiefs came into this game, and Dick Vermeil said it. He thinks they need to go 11-5 to get to the playoffs. You know, I'm not real sure, because as the season winds down, a lot of these teams are going to be some losses. I think there's going to be one team sneak into the playoffs in the AFC with a 10-6 record.
Here we go. One chance for the Broncos. Plummer did not get all of that one, and it's going to be incomplete. Chiefs have done it. They've won 17 straight December home games. And they currently have the 6th